What's up, cats and kittens and everything in between? I don't know what that means, but whatever. I am going to do the same message, I think, but in a different way from what I did last week. Okay? So I'm going to be more direct when I say this time around. That's what men do. Stop acting like your mama. Okay? Dear Wyatt, stop acting like your mama. Your mama is a nice lady, but she gets privileges that you don't. Why are you acting as though you're going to get away with the things that she's going to be able to get away with? Because on a very basic level, men are protective of women and children. They're protective of women and children. Now, she's always going to have someone feeling sorry for her about something. She will have some dude feeling sorry for her about something, whether it be a dude on the block, whether it be a dude from the governmental structures. There's always going to be someone that's going to feel sorry for her. Ain't nobody feeling sorry for you. When does that ever happen? When? They're looking at you funny because you haven't taken on more responsibility in not only your life, but in the lives of other people. That is the measure of a man. The measure of a man is how much responsibility he volunteers himself to. That's the measure of a man. Not about fighting, not about, packing heat, because really, that's a feminine response anyway. What do I mean by that? That means that if you don't have no impulse control, to where someone just riles you up, you're ready to fight everybody in the world. That's feminine, bro. That's feminine. Men understand that I am a destructive force and that I can't just be willy-nilly and be as impulsive as I see my mama be. I can't just cuss anyone out that I want to. Why? It's going to end in bullets. You know what I mean? Potentially. I can sit there and act that way. No. I can't talk to someone crazy the way that she talks to someone crazy, because if I do that to another man, bruh, that could very potentially end in a fatality somewhere. You don't get that privilege. If she does something wild, the judge is going to look at her as a victim. They ain't going to look at you as a victim. What are you talking about? Y'all are not the same. You spend all your money on goofy stuff. Because, again, my ladies, y'all want to vibe. I get it. I understand. I want y'all to vibe. I just want y'all to vibe safely. I want you to vibe in such a way that God is going to make provision for you in some way, shape, or form. But I don't want you to vibe where you are being inside of this satanic structure of the black church. I don't want you to vibe that way. I want you to vibe in such a way that you are covered by men, not boys. I want you to cover you by men. I want you covered by the Holy Spirit. Okay? I want you to vibe that way. But when you're not vibing that way, you're vibing by spending all your money on experiences and trying to, catch that vibe. And when you teach that to your men, they can't protect anything. Why? Because they have no income. They have no financial power. And so therefore, they're just vulnerable to everything that you're vulnerable to. Man, you got to understand that even your money is not even for you necessarily. No, I want you to take on the responsibility. I want you to go ahead and take on the responsibility of being head of the house. I want you to take on the responsibility of being the one that makes it out. I want you to take on the responsibility of being the one friend in your friend group and be like, hey, this ain't, I'm going to do something better. You follow my lead. Because I'm sorry, you keep on thinking that, I'm going to smoke in perpetuity. Again, I'm not mad at smoke. Whatever with that. There's a whole argument in culture and everything else alongside with that. Okay, fine. But if all you're doing is smoking and being on the game, bruh, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, my guy. If all you're doing is smoking and being on the game, you're taking no responsibility for anything. You're being weak. You're being weak because you're seeing her do things where she can just kind of chill or whatever, but again, somebody else is going to feel sorry for her and take care of her in some way, shape, or form. She got community. She got church community. She got the government. She got, like I said, judges and lawyers are on her. She got so many different ways. She got Pookie down the block. I know you want to punch Pookie, but you know what I'm saying? Pookie, you want her to not be around Pookie? Step up and make sure that you're taking better care of her than Pookie ever did, and she'll see that Pookie's obsolete. She got Pookie on the block. She got all kinds of things to take care of her. What do you got? Huh? What do you got? I got the gang. Do you? Because I've seen a lot of snitching lately. Because for a bunch of boys who don't want to be accountable to anything. That's why your mama makes excuses for you all the time. It wasn't so-and-so's fault. See, that one little boy did this right here, you know, and that's why my little boy got caught up in this, because my little boy doesn't do things like that. You see that? When you make excuses for yourself, you sound like your mama, because you're her baby. But you sound like your mama, you know? You sound like her. And I just don't know if you're trying to sound like her, okay, fine. But if you ain't trying to sound like her and be a man, take on responsibility, that means that even when it's not your fault, you still claim responsibility for it. Ain't your fault. Ain't your fault that this happened or whatever, but hey, if I take responsibility for it, I have it in my ballpark. I can do something about it. Whatever you don't take responsibility for is something that you're not going to be able to change. So if you don't take accountability to anything, you got to wait for everything to be done for you outside of you. And who knows when that's gonna be? Who knows? When is that gonna happen? If it's the white man's fault, you gotta wait for the white man to make it better for you. When's that gonna happen? Because I'm pretty sure they ain't studying about you. You know, they ain't studying about you, bruh. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? They ain't sitting around and oh, the poor colored. They're not doing that. They're worried about them and their family and their culture and the things that they gotta worry about. They ain't studying about you. They ain't got time to think about you. Why? Because the men are thinking the same thing. They'd be like, hey, bruh, if you can't figure it out, I had to figure it out. So, you know, I ain't got time to sit there and babysit a grown man off my dollars, or off my this, or off my that. I ain't got time for all that. You see that? They don't feel sorry for you. They might feel sorry for your mama, but they ain't gonna feel sorry for you. If you're an able-bodied man, they don't feel sorry for you. They look at you as a total sucker. Oh. They look at all my YNs. They look at all y'all. I love y'all. But they look at y'all as weak and sassy. They don't look at you as men. They look at you as boys. No impulse control. Always mad about something, you know, almost like your mama, right? They know they have to keep their head on their shoulders. Otherwise, people could die, and that could affect generations to come. Men know their strength, and men know their responsibility. So they say things like, I could fight you, and I could absolutely clean your clock, or I could put several of these metal pellets into your skin, you know what I'm saying? Let that burn for a little. I could do that, but I got responsibility to my wife, to my child, just to my mom. Maybe my daddy sacrificed everything he could to make sure that he was working so that mama could stay home. And so daddy doesn't have much money. He tried his best. Maybe you could be the one to restore the family into prosperity. Maybe you could be the one. Did you ever think about that? How? Because you were still listening to your mama say, baby, don't work too hard. Don't wear yourself out now. Baby, don't work too hard now. Now, if someone got a problem with you, you just go ahead and leave that place. Is that the advice that you're going to give to a man? You give that to a boy, but you won't give it to a man. Because you're like, mama, it don't matter. It don't matter about my feelings. It don't matter about my, proclivities. It don't matter about my preferences. It don't matter about none of that. It matters about my responsibility, and that's all that matters. It matters about my discipline, and that's all that matters. Because don't nobody care about my feelings, ultimately. Have you seen that to be evident? Nobody studied about your feelings. They're studying about her feelings. It's like you are studying about her feelings. But you ain't studying about your homeboy's feelings. They're going to tell you what you're going to tell you in love, just like I'm telling you in love right now. But they ain't studying about that. Why? Because it's on you. It's on you. If society thought that women were actually like equal in the way that, just doesn't matter, just as good as y'all be looking at women and be like, hey, step your game up. Put your big girl shoulder pads on, you know what I'm saying? Head on out. Whatever. What's the problem? You don't treat them that way, do they? Do they? Do you? You treat her with kid gloves. You treat her making sure that she is mindful and that you're mindful of her emotions and how she's feeling, how she's vibing, you know. You treat her with kid gloves, bro. Like, stop. You know you do. I know we do. Because there's things that they don't even see, that they're not paying attention to, that could kill them at any point in time, harm them at any point in time, that they're not even aware of. There's things that we do to prevent a lot of that stress, a lot of that drama. You know this to be true. So I just wanting you to understand that I love you. I love you in the strength of God. I really, really do. I really do. That's why I'm telling you this. You just can't be like your mama, bro. I mean, you can, but you're going to get the same results. And you're not going to feel like a man. You're going to feel like a bum. You're going to feel like it's someone else's fault about how you feel about yourself. You know, no. That's on you, homie. Claim responsibility. Because what you are claiming responsibility for, you can change. And as a man, it's going to feel really good when you do. But work hard. Do what you got to do. Just make sure it's all legal. Because that kind of money you're talking about, that other kind of money, it's irresponsible money. Why? Because it's going to get you locked up. And she needs your presence more than she needs your money. That ain't true. Then how come if I tell you that some of y'all lost your mama, some of y'all actually lost your mother, you lost your mama. What do you want more? Her presence, just for her to sit there on the couch one more time? Or do you want her to give her some money? Which one do you want? Do you want your mama, you've lost your mom, do you want her to just be present just for the next hour? What would you give to have her present just on the couch doing nothing but what she's always done? We pray for the presence of God every Sunday or Saturday, depending on Sabbath observers. Pray for the presence of God all the time. And do you think that presence is pretty important? So don't do things that are going to be taking your presence away from the family. Be the best example of a man in their lives. Be the best example of a man for even your own mother so that she knows what it actually looks like. So she ain't got to sit there and think that Pookie is a way for her to get by. And so that maybe your little sister doesn't get with Pookie either. Because Pookie's a boy. And all a boy is just someone who has not realized that they're a man yet. They still act like the mama. Raging out, not understanding that they have power. No impulse control, rude, feminine acting, can't control themselves. Nah, you have so much power, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous how much power you have. Women have power too in a different kind of way. But oh my God. Oh my God. All right, I love y'all very much. I catch you in the remix. Take care of yourselves. Be the man. Play the man. Do that and do that well. Love y'all.